The Carnegie Public Library, located at the corner of 8th and Liberty in downtown Hopkinsville, is a very historically significant structure.
The Carnegie Library in downtown Hopkinsville, Kentucky is just a very special old building here in our community.
So for 100 years it's been a part of the downtown landscape.
The Hopkinsville Carnegie Library is very important to downtown Hopkinsville because of its historical significance. It's a beautiful representation of Greek Revival architecture.
Carnegie's idea of giving back took the form of creating libraries all across America and other English-speaking countries.
For nearly 100 years, it was our public library. In 1913, the Carnegie Foundation made a donation of $13,000 to the city for the construction and furnishing of a public library. It so remained until about 1977, when the new library on Bethel Street was opened.
At the time of its opening in 1914, it was considered a most imposing structure. Its simple and yet elegant design was the product of local Hopkinsville architect John Trice Waller.
We're very excited to have the Carnegie Library downtown, and it's been downtown since 1914. And more recently, we've been excited to see the restoration and renovation projects that have brought it back to its early grandeur. And it's such an important part of our downtown landscape.
So it's been standing in downtown Hopkinsville for a number of years, and we have really enjoyed watching the building be brought back to life by the Hopkinsville Carnegie Foundation.
You know what? That was the library when I was growing up. I've lived in this community my entire life, and that's where I got my first library cards.
Carnegie would have been pleased with our building as it doesn't have a lot of frivolous service decoration, which he objected to because of the extra cost.
It sits just opposite of the newly constructed Hopkinsville Municipal Center, so it's in an area of downtown Hopkinsville that is now very visible. A lot of new life is being breathed into that particular area of downtown Hopkinsville, and we have really enjoyed watching that building come back to life.
I think it just really adds a lot to downtown Hopkinsville and to our history, and we need to preserve it for future generations.
We have a new roof, and the exterior brick has been tuck pointed. The exterior cornice has been repaired and painted, and the basement level was moisture proofed and has a new concrete floor. The renovated building will be the Hopkinsville Carnegie Library of Kentucky Architecture, which will serve as a repository for books, drawings, pictures, models, and other materials pertaining to period architecture in Kentucky. It will be an outreach facility to the Hopkinsville and Christian County community, which will take several forms, the most important of which will be a tutoring facility for students of all ages to help with their writing skills.
So I would just ask people to please consider making a donation to that organization. You know, it is a 501(c), and it would be a great way to, if you had a little money that you wanted to part with, what a great way to do that and help our community keep that building alive and for the future.
We are ready to announce that we have just received an anonymous matching grant in the amount of $100,000. The person, family, or institution that provides the largest amount of money for the Carnegie Library project will have the option to have the building named after them or anyone else of their choice. Other naming opportunities are available for 4 interior spaces for lesser amounts of money.
And it's one that I believe we really need to take care of and renovate and let it be here for future generations.
This re-emergence of a restored and key architectural landmark in Hopkinsville's business district will greatly enhance the downtown revitalization program.
It's important to remember that it takes a lot of resources because those things aren't cheap. So I encourage all residents of this region to give and give generously to the Carnegie Library to help restore it to its full potential and its earliest grandeur.
The Carnegie Library, with its classic architectural design, is definitely a hallmark, a landmark in downtown Hopkinsville, and has so been for so many, many years.